good? This your boy Spiky. Oh God. But I almost said my other name. Hold on, wait. Hey, yo, what's going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike, back again once again. And today, people, today we are here for Kamen Rider Revice episode 27, man. And we got a huge lore dump in this episode. We got like Gene basically just figured out Ace. He figured out everything about Ace, what he is, what he's doing, everything just thrown right out there. So in this episode, we're going back. We have a Sengoku game theme going on right here, and actually bringing back something that we thought was not a thing anymore, which is taking an entire one area of of the city and completely changing it, thanks to Beruba. Beruba ends up changing a area into the city back into the Sengoku period, basically making everybody into samurai. So, and I love that. I love samurai. So in this episode, we see that Beruba is pissed off her and Archimetal. This is just a weird ass name, Archimetal. Like, what were your parents thinking when they did this? But they are pissed off that Ace was able to destroy one of their Jamato and also foiling their plans on some Team Rocket-ish. And we see that they get changed back into the Sengoku period. But we did see that Keiwa and Neon are noticing some strange things going on with Ace, saying that Ace is actually very tired. And they talk about how Keiwa basically says like, the way Ace is, I didn't think he was actually human, and basically humanizing Ace, basically saying that it always just felt like he wasn't human because of how amazing he actually is, and also the fact that they've never seen him sleep before. They've never seen him sleep before, so they found that actually kind of weird. They see him sleeping inside of the like the main hall, the main room that they're in the DGP, and they feel kind of weird about it. They're talking about that, and we see that Gene is kind of in the forefront of this episode. He kind of made himself like the main character of this episode, trying to figure out things about Ace. And he's wondering where Ace got that red buckle from, because he doesn't know where Ace got the Mark II buckle from. So he essentially tells Ace that he tells Keiwa and Neon, asking them about Ace and what exactly that things he's told you guys throughout the time he's been with you. And he finds out that from Keiwa that Ace has been in the DGP, or like being in the DGP since like 1 AD, and also the fact that he tried to use the DGP card to try to wish for his mom, but it was rejected. So Gene basically comes up with the realization that maybe one of his past lives asked to see their mom, and they got it. So that's why Ace's wish is that technically that wish cannot be granted, because it can't be used twice. So we see that Cherim and Sumini for some reason are going up to the DGP, the JGP base to try and get his vision driver back. But we did see KY and Neon actually take on a few like base Jamato, but they were like samurai Jamato. And we see that since our whole place is turned into the Sengoku period, we see Keiwa and Neon wearing samurai outfits, and we got to see some out of suit battling. We got to see Keiwa and Neon use katanas, and it was actually kind of cool. But then everybody basically hinges up and starts fighting off the Jamato. But after they fight off the Jamato, they ended up trying to go and help out Ace. So We see that Cherem is trying to get his vision driver back, but we see that Betelba, she basically brings the vision driver, and she basically says to Cherem that, hey, Cherem basically tells her that, hey, you can't use that vision driver anyway because it needs my fingerprint to do it. And she's like, I know that. So she does something pretty weird, and she actually takes Cherem's finger, she takes his thumbprint, and she uses her blaster to basically copy and paste his fingerprint, his thumbprint onto her, so now she can actually hit him with the vision driver, and now she is able to turn into glare too, which is weird. Like, this is super future. Like, could you imagine being able to, scan someone's fingerprint and paste it onto yourself? Man, identity fraud will be rampant. But we did see that Ace does wake up, and he's trying to go off and do stuff, but he can't. He's too tired, and we see that the Boost Mark II, the reason why it's actually making him very, very sleepy and very, very tired, and basically overdriving his body, because he can't his body isn't used to going at such high speeds. We saw this earlier in the episode where he did use the Mark II, and actually decimated a lot of the Jamato and Buffa, forcing them to retreat. So we did see that even Niram was changed into his whole new outfit, and Ace was changed into a whole new outfit, had like samurai outfits. We see that Niram was the shogun of the whole thing, which does make sense because he's the big boss man and things like that. So we also saw Keiwa talking to Kikera, and we see that he tells Kikera about like Jean kind of poking around, trying to get information about Ace, and Keiwa did ask him like, why do you guys like support us? Essentially, the supporters are essentially like VIP or glorified audience members, essentially, and they've been watching like a lot of games and also being part of a lot of games, and also like possibly supporting like other people before they met these guys. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. But we see that Ace, he tries to go off, and after talking, he wakes up, and now he's talking with Jean. And before that, we see Jean end up going to talk to Niram, and figures out that there's the other versions of Ace. We see that Ace has basically it's 4. He has 4 other lives, and we see that each other life was like part of a different time in history. I mean, like, Ace has been like other races, other versions of Ace has been other races, and they're all were basically essentially looking for the same thing, trying to find their mom. But we see that one of the Aces did end up finding their mom, and it was one Ace that did also exist in the Sengoku period, and he basically reveals that all that to Niram, and he asks Niram. So one Ace asks to see his mom again. So was that wish granted? And Niram basically says yes, but he just tells Jin that, yeah, whatever you're thinking, you're right, or whatever. So Jean is like, yeah. It's like Jean really is like the fanboy, super big fanboy of Ace. We know this for sure, but he's poking around trying to figure out things about Ace, and also trying to figure out where that red buckle came from. So after Ace is waking up, because they put Ace back in the bed after he does collapse, and he ends up waking up, and he talks to Jean, and Jean reveals that, oh, you've had multiple lives. You're the reincarnation of another Ace. You've had multiple lives. You also the reason why you ask for your mom is because you're basically like the reincarnation of you're trying to fulfill the wish of the very first Ace, and the very first Ace is trying to get his mother, is basically trying to see his mother back. But we kind of saw who he was, but he was like a big haired kind of blonde guy with speaking English, but his mother's name is Mitsume, which is a Japanese name, and she has black hair. So I don't there's no consistency with that. Like there's some weird consistencies with that. Even maybe, like the Sengoku era Ace, maybe his mom is Mitsume, but I don't think that's the first Ace. So since it's like before AD, since this is like in AD, so yeah, but Jin basically tells him all of this, and then Ace is like, "Well, what would I tell? Well, how would you feel if I told you? How would you feel if I said all of that was true?" And then Jin's like, "Oh man, I knew it. I knew it." So, Ace goes off, and Jin basically tells him that you need to be careful because you're really tired because your body isn't used to going at those such high speeds while being in that form. And Ace kind of shrugs it off and basically says like, "Nah, man, it's just jet lag." And I'm just like, "You mean jet lag?" Well, I don't know, but anyway, Ace does end up going to try and fight off Buffer and basically fight off Buffer and the other Jamato. When he does end up passing out in the middle of the street, we see that Gene does go and Esty ends up saving him, and Esty fighting off two of the Jamato riders. But that's when Betuba shows up, and he talks to Betuba, and Betuba ends up hinching up into Glare 2. When she hinges up into Glare 2, she ends up using the hacking feature on Glare 2 and ends up putting those hacking helmets on the Jamato riders, and she also gave them 2 buckles. She gave one of them the monster buckle, and she gave the other one the magnum buckle. And we see that Gene is basically fighting all 3 of them, but he ends up getting his butt kicked. When he ends up getting his butt kicked, we see they ended up capturing Ace, and while Ace is asleep, they're actually getting ready to basically kill him. And then we see the Jamato rider shoot the bullet, almost hitting Ace, and the episode ends off right there. But we know Ace is gonna die because he's the main character, and also we see him in the next episode. But what's weird to me is the fact that we just got Boost Mark II, and we're already upgrading it. Like, then the other new form also looks very cool, but I guess maybe it's supposed to stop the side effects of using the Mark II buckle, kind of like a Black Hazard form in Kamen to Build, where he had Black Hazard. While Black Hazard by itself was very powerful, but he couldn't control it, he had to create Rabbit and Tank to be able to use Black Hazard. And we see that is the same kind of sequence going on here. It's just the fact that it's happening way too freaking soon. Like, I like Boost Mark II, and I feel like we should have at least had this form until Ace just started to get his butt kicked while being in it. And then that will call for a brand new form. Because I don't know, is this form Ace's ultimate form? Like, is this new Fox form that we're going to get next episode his ultimate form? Because if it is, wow. But I don't know. Maybe he'll get something else after this, something bigger. And I'm also still hoping that the Boost Mark II and this other form that he's going to get is still going to stay exclusive to him, because that's what they need to. They need to stay exclusive to Ace by himself. So, but the episode basically ends off right there, and this episode didn't really do a lot, I guess. I mean, it brought back some ideas and opened up some more stuff for conversation, but other than that, like, this episode really didn't do that much for me. I mean, the fight choreography was cool. It was simple. I like the whole idea of the whole Sengoku thing, because I love samurai based kind of stuff, and it was cool kind of seeing some of our characters fight as samurai, essentially, especially Keiwa. Keiwa was just a samurai ninja, because even when he got his sword knocked out of his hand, he was still throwing hands and still able to be able to hitch in himself on time without being severely hurt. But with that being said, I don't know, like, it was weird, the whole Mitsume thing and Ace trying to fulfill the wishes of his very first reincarnation. It's kind of cool, but we still haven't seen Mitsume's face, and we feel, and some of these guys who are basically supposed to be the past version of Ace are all like American looking dudes, like Greek looking, dudes and stuff like that. I mean, even though he did have one Asian family, I guess he did have a Japanese family, but throughout his like reincarnations. But other than that, this episode really didn't do that much for me. And we got to see Betaba is now a regular writer now. She's not a big CGI pink and black mess, which was basically her regular form. So, but yeah, man, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of this episode of Kamen Rider Geats. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and as I always say, guys, stay henshined.